Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Spearhead Sundays with Lewis Spears. We're up to episode 8, I believe. What are we going to talk about this week? Some exciting things are happening. My shows are going on sale. Now, Melbourne, Sydney, and Perth are all on sale now at lewspears.com/gigs. If you want the password to Sydney, it is SydLoser, all in caps. SYDLEWSER. That's how you buy tickets. That one's on pre-sale. Everything else is on general public sale. So we're up to episode 8 of Spearhead Sundays, actually released on Sundays. We're on a fucking roll. Guys, I think my dog has a big dick. I think I've got a whippet. We adopted him, so he's got PTSD. I don't know. There's something wrong with him. PTSD or Asperger's. He's a weird dude. But I think he's got a really big dick, like for a dog. Like I have another whippet who seems to have a normal sized penis, but my other whippet, Albert, is the one with the large cock. I think he's got a big dick. Like, I haven't seen that many dog dicks. I've never seen him with his lipstick out, you know, the red rocket. I've never seen that. But when it's housed in its like casing, in the bullet casing, it's fucking huge. I think he's got a big cock, guys. I don't know what to do about my dog that has a big dick. It's freaking me out, really. Like, I don't know. Every time I just look at him every now and then, I'm like, I swear that's a big cock. But I found out, my suspicions were confirmed a couple of days ago when I took Albert for a walk. I went up to the cafe that I normally go to. And next to the cafe, there's a chemist. All right? And next to the chemist, there's always a meth head waiting for the chemist to open. There's this woman. She's one of those people who just talks to you. Talks at you. They don't talk to you. They just want to be like, oh, there's a person. I'm going to speak words at them for a very long time about my life of crime. And they're just going to nervously nod and go, oh, yeah, man, I know how that feels. I remember last time I spoke to her, or she spoke at me, she told me about how, I don't know, one of her friends overdosed, and then how she used to be in jail and how she doesn't take shit from anyone, and she got in fights with even the jail officers. And I was like, yeah, you know, you should be proud of yourself. Good on you, mate. But anyway, she's usually there every couple of days waiting for the chemist to open. It's like 8:30 in the morning, so it's just before the chemist is going to open, because she buys medicine that they turn into meth or something. I don't know why. Obviously, the chemist must know what she's doing. Like, she waits out there, but she waits before they're open. Anybody waiting for the chemist to open is either about to die or they're cooking drugs. That's the only kind of, like, they really need this medicine to keep them alive, or they really need this medicine to break it down and make meth out of it. So she's there because it's a methadone clinic. She's after a meth or whatever the fuck she wants. But, you know, she's kind of harmless to me anyway. So I was going to go into the cafe, and she usually sits on the bench near the chemist and waits for it to open. So I'm like, are you okay if I tie my dog to this bench? And she goes, yeah, mate, don't worry about it. I fucking love dogs. Go for it. You go into that cafe? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I fucking hate that cafe. They're all sluts, those fucking sluts in there. I'm like, oh, what? Why? And she goes, oh, they fucking kicked me out. I was in there and I was getting some food and I made a fucking joke. You know, they're Indian, so, you know, I called them fucking Pakis, and I was only joking. It was like, it's like walking into an African shop and just yelling nigger and then going, oh, why are you offended? It's only a joke. Like, fucking ridiculous shit. But she's yelling, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a shame. That's really good that I don't have to see you in my cafe. She got banned from the cafe for yelling racist shit, and then she thought it was a joke, and I ended up leaving the dog with her, and kind of in the back of my mind, I'm like, is this woman going to kill my dog or something? But, I got what I wanted from the cafe, and I came back out, and the woman is feeling my dog's dick, like touching it, and my dog just looks back at me and goes, is this normal human behavior? Because I don't like it. Like, this fucking crackhead is just giving This fucking meth head is giving my dog a wristy on the street. And the dog's just like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with this. She's getting a wristy from a crackhead in the street. And then I come up to and I'm like, sorry, what are you doing? And then she looks at me. She's not even embarrassed. She's got my dog's cock in her hand. She looks at me and goes, gee, he's got a fucking big one, doesn't he? This one's bigger than some of the ones I've been with. And like my dog has a bigger cock than some of the dudes who have fucked her. And I don't know what I was supposed to say. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess he does. And then I untied him from the bench and just walked away really quickly. And he was freaking out. And as I'm untying him from the bench, she's still playing with his cock. And she goes, gee, he fucking likes that one, doesn't he? Hey, he fucking likes that. And I don't really know what I'm supposed to do here. So I just take the dog and just fucking walk away. It was the weirdest thing. My adopted dog got a wristy from a crackhead on the street. I don't even understand how I'm supposed to deal with that. So, yeah, basically what I'm trying to say, guys, is my suspicions are confirmed. My dog has a big dick. I mean, if your dick is that big that crackheads start going at it, you should be impressed. Like, I'm kind of proud of my dog, for having that thing in between his legs. I don't know how he runs, really, with that, the crackhead attractor between his legs. Oh, man. Could you imagine that happening to you? It's fucked. I caved, guys. I got an iPhone. I asked, I talked about it last week on the podcast. I said I was thinking about getting a new phone, and I was like, oh, should I get the iPhone? Should I get the iPhone, or should I get a new Samsung? It's such a crucial decision for me because, it's really important. Such a big first world decision. Should I get the latest iPhone or the latest Samsung? It's so important. So I got that. I got the fucking iPhone 6S Plus rip-off edition, whatever it is. I looked into getting it online, and it was 1,000. I wanted the one with the most storage because my old phone ran out of storage and had to keep deleting it. I just wanted to have the biggest, like a fucking huge, ridiculous storage in it, so I just never have to. I don't have to update it until they come up with something incredibly amazing that I need. You know what I mean? Because really, my old phone was working. It was just full and slow, and it didn't speak to my Apple fucking laptop because Apple were cunts, and they're like, oh, well, if you have to fucking... They put, like, software on it that intentionally made it really difficult for me to get my photos from my phone onto my laptop. And I hated it, but it fucking worked because I bought an iPhone for it. And now all you cunts are like, oh, he got an iPhone. He shouldn't have got an iPhone. I can't win with you guys. I post Snapchat videos and they look like shit, and then everyone goes, oh, your videos look like shit because you have an Android. You need an iPhone, bro. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I buy an iPhone, and then all these fucking virgins over here go, oh, you got an iPhone, mate. You're a fucking idiot. You got fucking ripped up. What do you guys want, okay? I just want some shit that works. I don't care. If I can take nice photos, film some funny videos for you fucks, who cares what label is under it? So I had to go to the fucking Apple store. I hate the Apple store. You walk in and there's like 30 cunts in those blue shirts and they all look at you and like, how can we rip you off today, sir? And they pretend it's an experience when really you're just getting fucked in the ass by a giant apple. It's not fun going in there. And there's 20 10-year-olds in there playing on iPhones and they're not going to buy anything. And then there's one cunt who's taking photos of himself and he's like, I'm going to set it as the background. And I guarantee you they reset the background every 30 seconds. Your face does not say as the background, you moron. And then you got to go through all the fucking rigmarole of the process of buying the shit. And they're like, oh, you getting it as part of a plan or a finance thing? And I just bought it outright. I figured, it was a business expense. So I just bought the fucking thing outright. And it was $1,500. I don't think I've ever spent that much money on anything. Oh no, I bought isn't that fucked? The two most expensive things I've ever bought. One was my $1,500 phone that I bought last week, and before that was like my $3,000 laptop from Apple. I've given Apple like $5,000 of my money for their shit products, and I'm just angry because their shit just works, and it works so well it really makes them buy stuff. So I ended up talking to the the woman with the fringe. You know that woman who has the fringe that's like just above her eyebrows. You know how she's got like, I'm gonna stop the wage gap. The outfit, like she wears that, the wage gap outfit, and she's fucking selling me and all this shit and blah blah. I'm like, I just want the phone. Like I walked in and like, how can I help you, sir? I'm like, I want this phone. I've done all my research. I want this model phone with this much storage, and I want to buy it right now. And then they're like, would you like a case for $50? Would you like a phone screen protector? I'm like, no, fuck off. I just want the fucking phone. And the other reason I went there was because my laptop charger broke as well. Because Apple can't fucking make chargers. So I need a laptop charger to make a video. That's why I didn't put a video out last week, because I didn't have a fucking laptop because it died and I couldn't charge it. My charger was broken. So I go in and I'm like, you know what? A laptop charger, how much could that be? It couldn't be more than $60. A laptop charger, I reckon that $60 is a bit steep. I go into the fucking Apple store. How much is it? $130 for a fucking charger. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I need a phone and I need a laptop charger. And I'm with my girlfriend and she's trying to help. And every time they'd say something to me, I'm just getting angrier and angrier and more confused. And they're like, okay, so the phone will be $1,500 and the laptop charger is $130. And I heard that and I was like, you know what? Fuck them. $130, I'm going to pay it, but I'm not going to buy it from Apple. And I decided I'm going to buy the phone from Apple, and then I'm going to go down to JB Hi-Fi and buy the charger for $130 purely because Apple will make less money out of it. I think. Anyway, that's what I was thinking. I was like, fuck Apple. I don't want to give them my money. I'm going to give someone my money to JB Hi-Fi. If I'm going to rip myself off, I'm going to spread it around. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like Father Christmas for a rich kid and just give all of my shit to this one cunt, this one little cunt that doesn't deserve it. You know? I'm not going to do that. Spend my parents' money like rich kid Christmas. So I decided, I'm like, fuck, I'll buy the phone here and then I'll go down to JB Hi-Fi because even though it's an inconvenience to me, it makes me feel better. It's like, fuck the system. You know what I mean? I'm fighting back. Fuck all this overpriced shit. So it takes me about 15 minutes for them to fucking go through the process of buying the phone. They ended up getting 20 bucks out of me to buy a screen protector because otherwise I'd have to buy it somewhere else and put it on myself and fuck it up. So they ripped me off for an anti-glare film set for the iPhone 6 Plus, whatever the fuck that means. I'm sorry, I'm really angry about this. And then I finally get out of that fucking blue shirt hellhole. I go down to JB Hi-Fi and I look for the Apple chargers. And then I figure out that they've only got the fucking old version for the old Mac laptop. And I'm trying to figure out which one I need. And I go to the retard who's working there with the stupid glasses and the arm tattoos like every other JB Hi-Fi cunt there. And I'm talking to him and I'm like, I have this type of laptop. What fucking charger do I need? And he looks me in the face and he goes, yeah, man, you can use the computers to figure out what charger you need. Essentially, I went into a shop and I asked the guy who is there for help. He's there to help people. That's his job. They're like, hey man, we're going to hire you. Your job is to help people who come in and ask for help. And then I came in and asked for help. And then he goes, Google it, mate. Like, it fucking... it ruined everything. So I get on the fucking computers and me and my girlfriend are trying to figure out what to do with the laptop, and she's just like, why did you just get it at the Apple store? It would have been so much easier. And I'm like, shut up! I wanted to get it from JB Hi-Fi so I don't rip myself off and give all my money to Apple, alright? And then we figure out that JB Hi-Fi doesn't fucking have the charger, so then we go down to Dick Smith, and then we're like, do you have the charger? And they go, yeah, we do have the charger, but it's on QC hold, so we can't sell it to you. And at that point, I'm ready to flip a fucking table and punch the person at Dick Smith. I'm ready to go to Dick Smith's house and choke him for selling his business to dickheads who can't fucking run it. They have it, but they can't sell it. And then they go, oh, we just see on our system that a shop downstairs has it. So then we go down to the fucking shop downstairs. My girlfriend's like, I just don't understand why we don't just go to the Apple store. We could go home like 20 minutes ago. I'm like, shut up, I'm not giving Apple any more of my money. So we go to this other shop, and then they go, oh, we can't sell it to you. It's on QC hold, which means quality control. And I'm like, why didn't Dick Smith tell me that? They're like, I don't know, maybe they just didn't know. Okay, so Dick Smith are fucking idiots, no wonder they're going out of business. This other shop doesn't have it. And then I'm like, fuck it, we'll go back to fucking the Apple store. So I go back into the Apple store. There's like 30 blue shirt cunts in there. I have to find out which one of the fucking dickheads is going to sell me the charger. And then I have to tell him what laptop I have, and he gets out the charger. And then I pull 150, I bend over and I let him fuck me in the ass for $130. And then I get my charger and I've got my phone and my fucking anti-glare film set screen protector shit. And then I go home and me and my girlfriend are having a domestic on the way home. You just should have got it from Apple in the first place. Fuck Apple, I didn't want to spend my money there. And so that was my experience with Apple. And as you can see, it happened a week ago and I'm just still not over it. So yeah, I got my new phone. New phone's pretty good though, I gotta say. Everything works. I can now communicate. My phone can talk to the laptop wirelessly, so I can edit my vlogs a little bit better and all my photos and shit like that. And yeah, I've got my laptop charger too. And I also figured out the reason why I actually found out that I didn't need to spend $130 because Apple actually did a product recall on all of their chargers because they've been breaking like mine did. So now I have to go back to the fucking Apple store and explain to them that I need a refund for my $130 because of the fucking recall. I might just let them keep my money. I can't be bothered going and talking to those blue shirt cunts. I just don't want to do it. You know how they all have their fucking iPhones and they're like all savvy and they're pretending like it's not like you're not buying something. They make it feel like you didn't just drop $1,500 on a fucking phone. I saw it. We went in there on, it was like a Tuesday. It was around 12 p.m. on Tuesday. 12 p.m. on Tuesday. So not a very busy day. I looked on his iPhone and I could see the revenue for the store. They've been open since 9. So what is that? 3 hours. They made $15,000 in sales on a Tuesday, the first 3 hours of Tuesday. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that my fucking... I couldn't believe that they're making that much money out of being cunts. I don't know. So that was my experience with Apple, guys. So don't worry about making fun of me for getting the iPhone because Apple have already punished me for it. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, I wanted to say if we're about halfway through the potty, so instead of doing ads, I'm going to plug my own shit. My Melbourne International Comedy Festival shows are on sale now. They are on next month. It's April 5 to April 17, every single day except for Monday. It's at 7:30, right in the middle of the CBD. It is all ages, but it's not a kids show, so if you're over 18, come. It's a proper stand-up comedy show. It's just because the bar is in a different place, so kids can come in without being exposed to alcohol. Licensing laws, I don't get it. But yeah, kids, adults come to the show. And I think it's a really good show. It's called They Tried to Cancel Me Last Time. I'm also going to tour I'm going to do a show in every single state of Australia. So right now, Melbourne, Sydney, and Perth are all on sale. The next ones to go on sale will be Brisbane and then Adelaide. They're looking pretty close to... I'm just locking those in now. What are my dates? So Melbourne is April 5 to 17. I really should know my fucking dates, shouldn't I? Let me go. Here, I'm going to look on the website, lousespears.com/gigs. That's where you find all of the information. The first Saturday night for Melbourne has sold out. The first Friday night for Melbourne is halfway gone. So if you're thinking about coming to a show, come to the first Friday in Melbourne because I really want to sell that one out so I can have those two sold out so people are like, oh my god, he's selling out. Wow, he's so amazing. Alright, so yeah, Melbourne is April 5 to April 17. Perth is on the 14th of May. I'm really sorry, that one is 18 plus only. Apparently Perth's licensing laws are a whole lot stricter. I couldn't get an all ages venue, it's only 18 plus. So that means the room's a little bit smaller, so that one's going to sell out really quick. I put it on sale a couple of days ago. I've sold out 10% of it already, so I reckon that one's definitely going to be a sellout. That one's on the 14th of May. And then Sydney is all ages. That is on the 21st of May at Giant Dwarf Theatre. in Redfern. That's where I did the show last time. Last time I did the small one. This time I'm just doing the big one because they upgraded me last time because I sold out. So now this time I'm just doing the big one. And man, in the pre-sale, we sold a quarter of the tickets in 24 hours. We sold a quarter of the whole fucking venue. That's amazing. It was like a 250 seater in 24 hours. A quarter of that just gone in the pre-sales, not even open to general public. So the pre-sale for Sydney's on. If you want to get access to that, the password is Sid Loser, SYDLEWSER, all in capital fucking letters. And if you would like to keep this podcast and my videos and everything else I do free, support me on Patreon. It makes a huge difference to everything that I do. It means I don't have to have a fucking part-time job that I hate to pay for all the shit that I do. It means that I can keep, advertisements and shit out of what I do. So if you'd like to support me on Patreon, throw me a couple of bucks a month. That's what you can do. It's like Kickstarter, but it's monthly, much smaller amounts. So support the show on Patreon and everything that I do. And it really does help it grow. There's cool rewards and shit like that too. Alright, so what did I do? On a couple of days ago this week, I went and saw Little Simz. She's a UK artist. She's a UK rap artist from England, I believe, from the UK. My girlfriend's really into her, and I think she's alright too. I went with my girlfriend, and man, she made me feel like shit, Little Simz did. She's just turned 22, so she's like a few months younger than me. She is a black woman, and she was doing a sold-out 500-seater in Australia. Like, she's touring the world. She made me feel like shit. I was like, yeah, I'm touring Australia. That's pretty fucking cool. Meanwhile, there's this, like, person who's younger than me, black, and a woman, and she's fucking touring the world. I'm like, where's the justice in that? Where's my white privilege card? That helped. I thought that was supposed to mean something. Back in my day, being white and straight used to mean something. You used to get free shit. You didn't have to work hard for nothing. Oh no, wait. I just realized that maybe it doesn't make that big of a difference. Maybe if you try hard at anything, you can fucking do it regardless of where you come from and what color you are and what's under your underwear. So, yeah, good on Little Simz. That was a really good concert, actually. I put a little bit of it in my vlog. It was really good. It was really, and it was so amazing to see, because, that would be like me touring America, is essentially what she's done. She's come from England and come all the way to Australia, and it's sold out. I couldn't wrap my head around how amazing that was. And after the show, she got changed because she would have been sweaty as fuck, and she came out and she talked to everyone, and it wasn't just photos and buy a t-shirt, fuck off. She spoke to every single person. I told her that it was good, and my girlfriend enjoyed meeting her. It was just a really good, genuine show. And she genuinely listened and talked to people. I thought it was really cool because I try to do that at my shows. Obviously I can't spend 10 minutes talking to every single person who comes, because otherwise the other people who want to say hi get, they got to go other places. But I try, and after every one of my shows, I feel like if you guys if the people who come to see the show make the effort to come all the way from wherever they are, book the tickets, pay for travel, pay for transport, pay for dinner, buy the tickets and do all that stuff and come all the way to me, I feel like I owe them at least to come out and say hello and take a photo with every single person. And, I enjoy meeting everybody who supports me. I think it's a really good thing to do. So I'm definitely going to do that at my next tour. Also, I wanted to have a little rant as well about ticket fees, booking fees, guys. Because I book all of my shows. I do it all myself. I've got somebody helping me book them right now, just to get my mind off it, because it stresses me out, talking to venues and shit. I just want to focus on the show. But I've had this I set up ticket sales for Melbourne directly through my own website. So there's no middlemen, there's no people charging fees. The money comes directly from you and goes straight into my PayPal or my bank account. So there's nobody fucking around and charging fees for shit they don't need to do. I paid a little bit of money to set up a ticketing system that lives directly on my website. So there's a $1.50 booking fee, which is pretty much the lowest booking fee I've ever seen, which was my goal. I wanted to make those fees incredibly low, and I make no money off that booking fee. That just pays That just pays for the ticketing service, and I make nothing off it. So I think that's really good, and it's because I'm sick of, even as somebody who goes and sees a lot of shows, I'm sick of getting ripped off by Ticketek, Ticketmaster, all of these booking fees, right? You know, you want to see a performer, their tickets are like $30 to start with, and then Ticketmaster adds on $6, and then they add on a transaction fee. All of a sudden, the $30 tickets are like $37, right? And it just seems like a really big ripoff. And what I found out from organizing my own tour and my own shows is I had a look at Ticketek as a potential ticket vendor for me to sell my tickets through. And as many fees as the customer gets charged, the performer also gets charged ridiculous fees. So to give you an example, my tickets are $22 on my website. I think that's a really fair price. Now, I put that $22 ticket price into Ticketek. Then Ticketek adds in a fee, that adds on another fee for selling the tickets, and then 2 more fees for whatever fucking reason. They're all bullshit fees, but they add on 3 fees, just like the customer. So my $22 ticket raises up to $27, and that's all you guys see. So from your perspective, I'm ripping you off. Do you know what I mean? Because all you see is the $27. You don't see, I wanted to charge you $22 and then Ticketek made me charge it to $27 and they keep that $5. All you guys see is, oh, Lewis is fucking expensive. Why is he that expensive? And then you also have to pay the booking fee. So it goes like this. I say, I want my tickets to be $22. Then Ticketek adds on 3 fees and brings the base price up to $27. Then you go to buy the $27 ticket. You have to pay a booking fee, a transaction fee, and a visa fee. And then all of a sudden, my tickets, which should be $22, end up being about $33 for you. And that $10 more, I don't see any of that. That all goes directly to Ticketek. For what? I don't really know. I don't understand how they need to literally increase my ticket price by 50% and then keep all of that money to keep their shit running. I don't understand why, but that's how it is. And I think that's a fucking ripoff. And I don't want to contribute to that system. You know what? Not only are you, the customer, getting ripped off, but I'm also getting ripped off. And I think that's really unfair. It's kind of riled me up enough to almost do a Lou review on it, because that's why when you know, you see comedians or musicians or bands that aren't super huge, but they're selling their tickets through Ticketmaster or Ticketek, and their tickets are $27, and you're thinking, fuck, that's a bit expensive for these guys. They're quite small. They don't want to charge that. They have to. It's really fucked. I did the math and I figured out if I lowered the amount of money that I receive to make the tickets 22 plus booking fee, it wouldn't be worth it for me to go to travel interstate and do those shows. Like, I wouldn't make any money. So I decided that, you know what, fuck it. If I can do it with Melbourne, I can do it with every other state. So I'm doing my absolute best to make sure every single ticket sold for my tour will come directly from my website, from me to you. No middleman. There's a $1.50 booking fee. No fucking transaction fee or any bullshit like that. I want to keep it as fair and as low as possible, because, you know, I think that's you know, you got to be the change that you want to see. That's what I think. And it's ruffling a lot of feathers. Like, the industry is really pushing back, because they make a lot of money out of all of these fees, because the venue gets a cut of what Ticketek gets as well, and a lot of venues, because of that, have exclusive contracts with Ticketek or Ticketmaster. So, for example, if I want to do a show at the Sydney Comedy Festival, doesn't matter where it is, if it's at the Sydney Comedy Festival, I have to sell my tickets through Ticketek. That's how I found out about these ridiculous fees. I tried to sign up for the Sydney Comedy Festival, and then they said, you know, if you want to do the Sydney Comedy Festival, you have to sell your tickets through Ticketek. So I was like, oh, okay. And then they sent me the contracts with all of the fucking fees attached, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to charge the people who want to see my shows this amount of money to see me. That's a fucking ripoff. So I said no, I'm not doing the Sydney Comedy Festival. So it's made it a lot harder, because there are a lot of venues that I can't do on my tour. But at the end of the day, I think it's really worth it for me and for you. Like, I get a lot of satisfaction out of being a fair a person who charges a fair price. You got to be the change you want to see. That's what I'm saying. All right, guys, let's get on to miscellaneous bit at the end, and then we'll wrap it up. This is the fucking hate this part of the podcast. Turn it off now if you don't want to hear this shit. This is the part where I answer your questions. If you would like to send in a question for me to answer, I'm actually running low on questions. I would really appreciate you guys sending them through. You can send them to contact@losespears.com. That is contact@losespears.com. Mate, you haven't listened to this. Wait, contact@losespears.com. Fucking listen, mate. So yeah, if you want to send a question through, send that. Put podcast somewhere in the subject line, and I'll get to it, and I'll let you know if I'll answer it. I will keep you anonymous if you want me to, or I'll say your name. I'll credit you with whatever you want. I'm not fucking fussed. Oh, before we get on to this horrible part, I would like to say thank you very much to everybody who rated the podcast on iTunes. I really do appreciate that. It means what happened after you guys rated the podcast. You guys rated it so well on iTunes that I actually jumped up the comedy charts on iTunes podcasting. We are right now. This podcast is the 10th most popular podcast in the country, which I think is fucking amazing, and it's also like in the top 50 highest rated. So if you would like to continue helping out the podcast and you can't afford to support it financially through Patreon or see a show, or you're too far away to see a show, rate the podcast on iTunes. Leave a review. Search Lewis Spears or Spearhead Sundays on iTunes. You can do it right now while I'm talking about this. I'm going to talk about it for another minute. You got a minute. Look it up on your phone or your computer. Let's do it together. I'm going to have a look at. I'm actually going to read some of the reviews because some of them were fucking funny. This one is the one that I wrote, and it says by Lou Spears. Quite literally the funniest. Someone said best podcast I've ever heard. Boss7654 just literally wrote best podcast I've ever listened to. Also the only podcast I've ever listened to. Wrote the exact same thing. All right, this is a good one ever. Although I have a complaint. After listening to miscellaneous bit at the end, it has given me cancer. With your tour, you're going to be great. Thank you very much, man. So yeah, I hope you guys can rate the podcast on iTunes. Into the fucking questions. I got 2 questions today. All right, so this one came in from Riley Wayne. Hi, Lewis. I sent you a podcast while you were still doing Nothing Inc. podcast. Then you fucking cancelled it the next week. So I sent the question again on the new podcast Facebook, and you said you'd answer it there too, and didn't. Riley seems a bit pissed off. Hopefully you'll remember this time, as you seem to have given up on the Facebook questions. Sorry, mate. I'm incredibly unorganized. I think everybody should know that by now. Anyway, seeing you doing stand-up makes me want to give it at least one go. I'm currently writing a couple of bits and whatnot, but have yet to test it. Is there anything you wish you knew before your first time performing stand-up? You know, I kind of got lucky before my first time because Khaled Kalafala, who was a professional comedian at the time. He's now a crack addict. No, he's still doing comedy. But he was about 5 years into his comedy, and we linked up. I was helping him with online stuff. He was helping me with stand up. So he kind of braced me for what to expect. And I really think the most important bit of advice that I kind of got was be prepared to be shit. Stand-up comedy is a skill. It's a skill like anything, and you're never going to be really good at something the first time. So I think brace yourself to suck, because that's part of the learning process. If you go out there with every intention to do well and make people laugh, but also know within yourself, if you suck, that's okay, because that's part of the learning process. So I think that's probably the best piece of advice that I got, and something that I always keep in the back of my mind when I'm trying out new material, is trust that you know what's funny and be okay with people not laughing, because it's your first time. I actually did quite well on my first set. I got to do the Comics Lounge, and there was a really good audience, and they liked my stuff. And it took me a while. It took me a while to have that first kind of bad gig where I didn't get any laughter. I just didn't get anything. But I think that was because I had a lot of experience writing comedy with my videos and things like that. So, yeah, Riley, I would really say just be prepared to suck, and don't let that phase you. Don't just view that as part of the process. Because at the end of the day, you can think something is funny, You can think a joke is really funny, but you're never ever going to know for sure until you get up on that stage and you tell it in front of that audience. Generally, when I try out new material, I like to do it 3 times. So the first time, if it doesn't work, maybe I just didn't know the lines right. Maybe I just fucked it up that time. Maybe I was a little bit nervous. Then the second time, I revise it and I take out some stuff that didn't work, add in some more stuff, just make it a bit more choppy and know it better. And then I go up and I do it again. And then it either works and I'm like, cool, I'm going to keep working on this. And that's a bit. Or it doesn't work, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that good, and then I'll change it more drastically. And then I'll do it the 3rd time. And if it bombs the 3rd time, maybe I was wrong, maybe it wasn't that funny. Or if it goes well, I'm like, okay, maybe this does have something, and I just need to work harder to get the laughter out of it. So don't be afraid to suck, is basically my advice. And that goes for anything new, really. So there you go, Riley, you cunt, you impatient bastard. I've answered your question finally. Dear Lewis, this is another one. I am 16 and from Melbourne, and I saw this post on my Facebook page the other day. It was from a girl who was at my old school who was a model. What do you mean, 16? So you're 16 now and you're old school, so 15. So she was a model when she was 15. Was it sex trafficking? What kind of model is 15 years old? All right. The post was on getting a free iPhone 6S from a website, and straight away I knew it was a scam. Obviously, because no one can give away a $1,500 fucking phone for free. I messaged her saying to give me the link to the website, and sure enough, the website looked like a way to get your phone number and spam it with advertisements. I was just wondering, what do you say to these kinds of people other than things like, I don't trust this link, or you're a sellout? And what are your views on these types of websites? And then he attached some images. Man, like, you can't stop scam artists. You can only educate people about them. So I don't really obviously they're fucked and they're a bad thing, but there's nothing you can really do. Like, you can report it on Facebook or report it to the Commission of Anti-Scamming shit. But at the end of the day, it's going to keep happening. They'll make a new page, they'll scam some more people. Only thing you can really do is talk to your stupid idiot model mate, who's obviously a dumb model. That's obviously not real. Okay, so all you can really do is educate people, and if a scam artist is, kind of infiltrating into your friend group or people that you know, just put the word out there. Hey guys, letting you know this is a fucking scam. That's kind of all you can do. Anyway, that about wraps up this podcast. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to seeing you in Melbourne and Sydney and Perth and Brisbane and Adelaide and Tasmania. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for rating the podcast. Please rate the podcast well. It really, really, really helps. Thank you very much. The podcast is growing in size every single week. I'm really enjoying doing it. And send in your questions. Support me on Patreon. And I'll see you next week. Have a shit one.